first ever business presentation?
Yes, I do.
So
You guys would love this story.
So to give some context, we had just started a business, and we became part of this community where we can plug into every now and then to have good associations, to learn together, and to practice like soft skills, right? So we were expected that night to give a training on one of the products that we personally liked and that we were selling to our customers. And the product, of course, that we're obsessed with is an all-natural energy drink, vitamin B. It's one of our favorites, so that's the one that we chose to...
Best energy drink on the market. Sugar-free,
It is.
10 calories. It's not loaded with caffeine or sugar.
No carbs.
It's got 129 grams of caffeine just to jumpstart the engine.
Over 6,000% vitamin B.
It is delicious!
Delicious. Anyways, so
Woo!
we chose that product, and our job was to give a training on it. Like, what about the product makes it different from our competitors? How can we
Why
sell
should we
this?
choose you?
How are we getting clients? We had, I believe, 5 to 6 minutes to present this. I believe the whole presentation probably lasted 30 seconds. At least that's what I remember, because I think I blacked out. I got so nervous. So
All right, so just to give you some context here, Whitney's going to tell her version, and then I'm going to tell the real version.
So I guess up until that point, I wasn't really exposed to public speaking. I mean, I was, but it's not something where I had to give formal presentations. Up until, I think college was probably the last time. My work at that time, it didn't require me to. It was more so just talking with people, and I'm fine with that. So I get up in front of a room of like 30 people. I have notes. I think what happened was that...
Because if you're not prepared, you're already losing.
I think what happened was that I got so nervous that I read everything. The Puerto Rican came out of nowhere, and I started sweating profusely. I believe there was pictures. My face probably matched like something bright red, because whenever I get nervous or I think I'm not doing a good job, what happens is that all of this will turn splotchy red. This will turn red. I'll start sweating, armpits, boobs, face. And
But
then
she has no idea this is occurring when that does happen.
Oh, I do know it's occurring. And then it makes me sweat more. It makes me more nervous.
Oh,
So
okay,
it feeds into the nervousness. And so after all of that, like, I'm not someone who can just sweat and not smell. Like, no, God forbid. The aromas come. So then I start smelling. So that's all I remember. And I think after the presentation, the community was just so nice that they're like, wow, thank you guys so much. You saved us time. You guys are efficient. It was their way of coming up with a compliment, but I knew I kind of wasn't the best first presentation. That was my perspective.
Now, we got Whitney's perspective, which was about 30 seconds. Now let's go to the real story, because even though we did this presentation together, Whitney stole the show very much. Yeah, so we were doing a presentation. Unlike Whitney, I'm very well versed in giving presentations. I actually love being in front of the camera. I love speaking to people. I love being able to add value. I love being able to educate someone on something that they're not familiar with or even aware of.
Wait, correct yourself. Whitney at that time.
Yeah, she's like a
We'll get to that point,
juggernaut.
too.
Juggernaut now. There's like no stopping. If you want a very good speaker, this is who you can reach out to. Link in description. Another thing. If you like what's going on here right now, drop a like. Hit that like button. You know the thumb jazz, Joan. Share this video with someone. It's funny. It's educational. It's giving you a perspective of why you should just go after things and try things. But anywho, we were doing a presentation that day. I kind of lit the fuse, got the ball rolling. The reason why Whitney only remembers 30 seconds of her presentation, because that's how long she spoke for. Me, on the other hand, I kind of set the tone for the presentation, did as best as I could in terms of adding value and reference to what we were speaking to. There's only so much you can say about an energy drink, so I believe what I did was just highlight the primary ingredients of the energy drink, which is vitamin B12, and how that is a concentrated supplement that's extracted from ginseng. And rhodiola is the concentrated supplement that is extracted from ginseng. However, vitamin B12 is a source of energy that can be leveraged for someone to carry out what they need to do throughout the course of the day. Right? So when Whitney was actually speaking, Whitney was actually staring off, because what I do when I present, I like to bounce off, have conversations like, hey, what do you think about it? And Whitney was she was in ghost town. She was frozen just looking at the stage. I don't even know what she was looking at, but I was like, okay, so my co-host is preoccupied at the moment, but she agrees. And we just kind of continue with the presentation. Super funny. Whit is an exceptional individual, because even though she was super nervous, super scared, she still tackled it head on. She still did it. She didn't bitch up. She didn't make excuses. And it was a lot of fun in the process. And now we have a story to tell about it.
So I was going to say, the whole point, I guess, to this story was that was something that absolutely terrified me. And it was something that I was honestly not very good at first. But one thing that I was very proud, and something that I did proactively after that, is now, since I knew that I wasn't so great at public speaking, I went out of my way and I volunteered for every public speaking opportunity. If there was one at work, I volunteered for it. If there was one in business, I volunteered for it. If there was a consultation, I volunteered for it, because I recognized that was an area where I was not as strong. And if you're going to be in business, I mean, one of the most important things is being able to relay your message and communicate with people.
If you're going to be in anything on this planet, you have to be able to communicate with other people other than yourself.
Very true.
Right? So you have to be able to have these tools in your wheelhouse in order to have a conversation, in order to ask someone for help, in order to request someone to do something for you. There's a lot of people in this world that don't know how to speak to others. And that's why they don't end up getting anything done or anything that they want. Right? So you have to learn how to speak to people in a way that's going to influence them, in a way that's going to get them moving in the direction that you want. Mm-hmm. Or anything in a sense. So.
Yep. True. So I think that this is very applicable to anything that you do in life. A lot of people, they tend to run away from things that scare them. And I believe that if we just confront it head on and we purposely put ourselves in these very uncomfortable situations, because I can tell you after that, it was everything just about that situation made me uncomfortable to the 100th degree. But it kept getting better and better as time progressed, and the more that I put myself out there and I realized that I was getting better. And then before you know it, I was speaking in front of crowds of 500 to 1,000 people. So that small room of 30 people where I was able to just do, according to Chris, a 3-minute presentation that was just wishy-washy, to moving on and actually giving a full thought-out one.
There was some value in there. You gotta sit for
it. It's something that I was very proud of, and I believe a lot of people can do the same thing with something that scares them or challenges them in that capacity.
However, sometimes you start off as a vagina, but over time, you grow into a diamond. Oh, snap! We gotta copyright that. Don't be stealing my Anywho, but seriously, when you push yourself outside your comfort zone, you transform from a vagina into a diamond.
And on that note, we'll end it there.
Later. I'm done with you.